Hello everyone, Russ for Aquariumex here, or Russ of Aquariumex here, sorry. We had a fair number of people waiting and I thought I'd just jump on a couple of seconds early. So, good to see you all here. Trying to check the chat here. I'll go to live chat, see if that helps. It's not letting me scroll back all the way, but Acro's here, Pat's Fish Tanks, Jay's Crazy Obsessions, Dustin, Amak, and Miley Morky are all here. Great to have you here. And, oh, sorry, the lighting's a little bit harsh. That's kind of crazy looking. Okay, Cuddly Crochet Buddies and Asylum JK, greetings all. Nice to have you here. I am excited for today. Some of you, those of you who are on my Patreon page, or those of you who saw the community page, will know about the baby mantids that recently hatched. I was given these on, when was it? It was Sunday afternoon, and the egg case hatched on Monday morning. So exciting. So, okay, I'm missing. JC, thank you. I love you too. Best in Natural Healing, hi. And thanks for the likes. Thanks, Jay's Crazy Obsessions, for get those going. Baguette, hello. Karen Sue Nader, hello. And excellent. We got 14 people in the house. Now, I don't know if you can see these here right now very well. Let me see if focus is a little hard. What I'm going to try to do is put the, at some point, I'm going to put these in front of the camera, the front-facing camera, and we'll get a better look at these little guys. That should be an easier way to do it. And I'm going to try to feed some on camera. So let me, I'm going to try to do that now, actually. I'm going to make some adjustments to the iPad here. Let's see. Switch the camera over. And lower it a little bit. Just bear with me for a minute here, folks. We'll get it working here. Oh, that looks better. And Curtis, thank you. Fist bump, nice. I don't know how to reciprocate that with the camera facing this direction. Boom, there we go. And yeah, well, the vote, I had to take the vote right before I could check the community tab, because I can't check it on my iPad. I can only check it on my phone. And so I did that. It was 60% for Mantid and 40% for corn snake. So what I'll probably do is do corn snake next week or something like that. Be cool. My adventure, welcome. Karen Sue is from Canton, Ohio. Nice. And Screechy Boyo. Nice. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to pull out. Got some fruit flies in here. And I've got right here a clear deli cup. Hopefully that will help. I'll be able to put some in. Okay. Just try to pull a couple of them out here so we can get a better look at them. Let's see. I only kept about, I don't know, I didn't even count them, about a dozen of them. I released a whole bunch into the yard. Oh, I just lost one onto the, what do you call it? Tricky little guys. Whoa, they're just taking dives, all of them. Okay, I'm going to put this one in the deli cup. Nope, one put itself in the deli cup. Great. We'll get a good look at it. Look at that. Cute little thing, huh? Oh, if I can focus on it. Tricky to focus on them. Can you see that all right? All right. Wesley Smith. Pat's Fish. My Adventure. Where do I find my pets? Oh, all over the place. Some of my order online. Some of my find. These were given to me. I've had a surprising number of them just sent to me. I purchased some. And all kinds of things. Some I find on local online classified, some I trade for. Oh, look at that. This one hasn't had a molt or anything yet. It's just was hatched out on Monday. It was so fun to see. And just took a leap off into space. Where'd the little thing go? Oh, I see it, just a second. Sometimes it's hard to remember how fast they go when they're this little. and how far they can leap when they're this little. It's been a while since I had a little mantis. Since last year when I raised that golden Asian mantis, which was a lot of fun to raise. I got to see it get to adulthood and live for quite a while after that as well. But of course, mantis doesn't live all that long, so it didn't last forever, but it was fun. And now, let's see. Yeah, they are so hard to get photos of, but I got them. And I have some fruit flies here for it, so I'm going to feed it. This was about the size of the mantis I got from Bugs in Cyberspace, the giant Asian mantis. It wasn't so giant at the time. So yeah, about that size. And they would be super fun to keep in a big vivarium. What I want to do sometime is get a communal species like the ghost mantis, set up a bioactive vivarium for them. So, and I am on my balcony, bedroom balcony. We've got two balconies. We've got a big one. We've got a smaller one that's in the bedroom, just off the bedroom, I guess would be more accurate to say. Let's see if he's going to eat anything. I don't know. I put some fruit flies in there. Oh, there's too much glare. Well, we'll see. You can kind of see him now. That's not too bad, is it? He's showing some interest in those fruit flies as they walk by. Let's see if we can catch one. Oh! He made a shot for it. Did everybody see that? That was cool. See if we can have him eat one on camera. It certainly looks hungry. Then I'll feed the other ones to the other mantids. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. A bad idea most of the time. Ooh, fruit fly right by him. Fruit fly alert. Oh. Sorry the focus is not great, but if I take the lid off, he's going to get out. And that would improve the focus, but it would mess everything else up. And I have not made a video about bumblebee millipedes specifically. I've made videos that include bumblebee millipedes. My millipedes video includes them in it. How to breed millipedes includes them in it. I need to make a bumblebee millipede video by itself, and I think I will. I think I'm going to do that. I have a new series coming up that I'm working on, and I'll include that in that series, I think. So we did see two tries. Oh, I really apologize that it's not that clear. I'm really hoping for a clearer shot. And yes, Jay's crazy obsessions, they will eat their siblings if they're not fed well enough, and then once they get old enough, it's just kind of, a couple molts and all bets are off. They will eat each other like crazy. But when they're really young, they don't do it that often unless they're not well fed. So I'm probably good for a little while keeping them together. Well, I need something with a better focus, but he has a good shot at that fly there. Let's see if it happens. The fly's not moving a whole lot, but it's moving enough to attract him. Look at that. It's that amazing stalking behavior. So, let's see. Is it better if I put it right there? I don't know. And thank you, Dustin. I appreciate that. And do I keep scorpions? I actually have two scorpions right now. I have a Coahuila. Oh, that's better focus, I think. Coahuila devil scorpion, Paravoihovus confusus, and Heterometrius spinifer, I think is the name, and that is my Asian forest scorpion. It's a baby. The Coahuila devil scorpion is an adult, and it's about the same size as the baby Asian forest scorpion. Oh, I think we may get something going on here. Pat's Fish Tank says, has seen in one of your videos, springtails right now, summer, so no problem with collecting definitely. I think about culturing springtails for winter. Okay, yeah, so far I'm with you. It's a good idea. Oh, is he gonna do it? And Julia is in Washington State. Cool. Yeah, I wonder what kind of millipedes they have there. I used to live in Washington State as a kid. Oh, fail. That's too bad. Hopefully he'll try again in a minute. Oh, coming close. I would love to see what kind of millipedes you find. I'm guessing some of the species like the Tylobolus and so on, maybe, what's another one? Hiltonius maybe that you can find in like Oregon and California. Maybe you could find some of the same ones. Oh, sorry, he's right through the, I could see that he was grabbing it, but it was almost impossible to see him. Where'd he go? Oh, did he drop it? Can you see any better through there? I don't know if you can. If that's any better or not. That might be worse. I don't know. Problem is the darn flies climb so well. I'm going to try a different tactic. Just hold on a second. I'm going to try a different method. Okay? I've tried this before, and it seemed to work okay. Rather than trying to keep a lot of different flies in there, I'm just focusing on keeping one in there and see if he will get it, and then you can focus on it. Harder than it looks though. How's that? Can you see that any better? I don't know if you can. Maybe that's worse. Be honest. Let me know. Oh, that's better, maybe. Try to keep that fly in there. Oh, fail. But so close. So close. Let's see if he gets it. Okay, I'm going to catch up and chat in just a minute. I just want to need like a little stick or something to push this fly down without bumping the whole enclosure, bumping the whole deli cup too much. But I think it's working. The idea is working. The problem is I wiggle it too much and then he falls over because I can't control it. My finger pushes a little bit too hard just because it's such a tiny deli cup and a tiny little mantis. But I think maybe we can make this work. We'll try it. Oh, getting close. I saw that. He's demonstrating interest. He is. I need some tiny little forceps or something. Oh, see, because he gets knocked over when I move. It's so sad. Okay, so you gonna get this one? He doesn't like it when it touches his feet. Not that I know that it's a male, of course. No idea. Let's see. Here. What can I use that's... Oh, he grabbed one. I didn't even see it. Okay. We saw it though. That was cool. Well, you saw it. I kind of missed it. But did everybody see him catch it? That was cool. Okay, I'm going to go for some chats now. I'm going to try to catch up a little bit. Heather Jensen, the Midwest heat wave hit so bad this past week I had to smuggle my feather millipedes into work with my house. As my house was too hot. Oh no! How are the feather millipedes doing though? And Pat's fish tanks, how do you do that and what are your experiences with feeding them to little fish like guppies? Okay, let's see. Yeah, springtail culture is super easy actually. If you have, you can check out my springtail culture video. I'm actually going to release a more, let's see, a more updated version, but I do have one that still makes sense. I mean, it's still, valid information. I just want to make a more updated one. But for now, that'll get you going in terms of the information you need for sure. And I would say you can breed them and then feeding them to your fish. Basically, you pick up 2 of the larger pieces of charcoal that you use to culture them. That's the culture medium. You pick up 2 pieces, knock them together over a small container, and you're good to go. You knock them over that small container and then just sprinkle from the smaller container into your aquarium. And they'll stay on the surface. They don't sink, and they're great food. So there you go. So hopefully that helps. I've noticed that guppies are pretty good at eating them, especially, I mean, even down to, not like hatchling guppies can't handle this size of fruit fly, but subadults can. They're, a couple months old, maybe 3 months old, depending on, how much you feed them and all that kind of stuff. But they can be far from fully grown and still be able to handle these, partly because they have such soft bodies. It's a plus. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to try just a little bit more with these fruit flies, but I need a paintbrush is what I need. That would do it. A paintbrush would be perfect. He had trouble righting himself there because he's holding the fly that he ate. I don't know. I can't focus on this at the same time, so I'm going to close him off. I'm going to put this one down, but not in the sun because I don't want to kill things. I'm going to change the angle a little bit so that we can see into the jar much better than we can right now. There we go. How's that? See into the jar a little better. And I'm going to dump a bunch of fruit flies in here. See how that goes. Because there are a bunch of hungry little mantids in there. And that should work, and then I can pay more attention to the chat. Get in there, little guy. Okay, here, probably like 30 fruit flies. And I'll put this lid on. And I don't want that on the side. I want, you don't see the chiffon. That interferes with visibility. We'll see how that goes. Okay. All right, so I'm coming back. Do I have an African giant millipede? I don't right now. I have had the Mardonius species of the giant African millipede, but I found someone who had a mate for it, and so I sold it to that individual in Florida with the intention of getting some babies. Oh, that one has one right in the middle of the screen. See that? Caught one there. I'm gonna maneuver this iPad just a little bit. We'll see how this goes. Oh, that's cool. That one caught one and is eating one right now. Nice. And there's one in the top left corner that may be getting some. So keep your eye on the top left corner and see if that one catches one as well. Probably will soon. All right, let's see. All right, good. So I'm glad that you guys got to see it. So glad the feather millipedes are doing well, Heather. And all right, you're welcome, Pat's Fish Tanks. I'm glad that helps. Oh yes, culture of flightless fruit flies HC Aqua. Yep, great to have on hand for all surface feeding fish. Even some fish that don't normally feed at the surface, like cardinal tetras, generally mine in the past would, for flake food, they wouldn't really go to the surface. They'd wait till it sunk down to their level. But when I put flightless fruit flies in, they'd go for it. It was kind of fun. Yeah. So the one in the middle caught it as soon as I dropped the flies in onto it. That's awesome. I wish I had seen it. Okay, here comes one towards the one in the top left. Let's see if he catches it. No, he didn't. But more are coming. Never know. Like I said, I don't even know how many exactly I have in here. I kept approximately a dozen. That was my goal, to keep about that many. So HC Aqua, I plan on getting some poison dart frogs soon if I could just find them. So are you looking for some of the auratus that just live wild in Hawaii? I know you can find those up in the mountains there, although I never had any luck finding any. I've heard you can find them. It's kind of fun that even though it's it's an introduced species, they don't seem to be causing huge problems for the environment, and they're super cool. There's even a population of rock kangaroos that lives on at least one of the islands in Hawaii, which is kind of bizarre, but true and rather fascinating. All sorts of crazy things. Manoa Valley, yeah, that's where I heard they were. So you tried last weekend. Cool. Yeah, I wish you good luck in finding some. That would be really cool. Do you have a lot of cane toads where you are, HC Aqua? We had cane toads all over the place when I lived in Hawaii. So I think there's only one morph of Dendrobates auratus in Hawaii, as far as I know. Just one morph. They're all descended from that one group that came in. Best in natural healing. I've got fungus gnats emerging from my isopod culture. Are they harmful to the isopods? They're not really harmful in small numbers, and oh, the one in the middle just struck again. I'm not sure if he got one or that's one he had already, but anyway. And they're not really harmful, they're annoying. And Springtails will help keep them down. They won't completely eliminate them. As your isopod culture gets bigger, the fungus gnat population tends to decrease as the isopods are eating most of the available food for the fungus gnats. They're getting out-competed. So I would say it's probably a sort of a temporary issue as long as you can get your isopods really thriving. Oh, the one in the middle. Did you see that? Did he get that one? No, he struck. No, did he? No, he's eating it. He got that one just now in the middle. That was awesome. He got it. Cool. And let's see. Tons of cane toads in your backyard. Awesome. I miss cane toads. So Acro Yang, did you hatch those from eggs? Yeah. Yeah, we got the egg case from some friends who said, we have an extra egg case. We just hatched one. We don't need two. Would you like it on Sunday? And I said, oh, twist my arm. And so they gave it to us, and the next morning it was hatching. This is an interesting thing about Mantis uthike, or egg cases. And you don't see the stick in here because I've removed it, but the egg case, when they gave it to me, it came without a stick, but it had a little hollow where a stick had been. And I read, I believe it was Peter at Bugs in Cyberspace, I think it was his care sheet, it may have been someone else's though, said that the uthike or egg cases will often dry out if the back of the egg case, the place where it was attached to its original surface, the deposition site, if it is exposed to the air, it will often dry out. And so I thought, well, we don't want that to happen. And also, the mantids, the nymphs, when they're hatching, they do best if they're able to hang from the uthika and have some open space to hatch out to. You know, they'll hatch out in kind of strings attached to each other towards the ground. And if you are on my Patreon page, you were able to see that in the video, or if you looked at the community page, you saw a photo of that. And anyway, they need to be able to hang down properly to hatch. At least it's helpful. And so I attached the stick just by carefully selecting a stick that fit into the hollow, because the consistency of an uthika is kind of like almost like an open cell foam. So I just carefully pushed the stick through there, and it adhered to it just fine. It held on to it because the hollow was, you know, a cylindrical shape. It fit it just fine. And then it worked perfectly. And the next morning, before I went to work, I went in and checked on it and saw the babies were hatching and got some footage of it. So, My Adventure says, is keeping a wild garter snake good to keep? Well, not the best option. I mean, it can be done, certainly. But a captive bred one is going to be better for a couple of reasons. One is a captive bred one is probably not going to musk you, at least not as likely to musk you as much. There's another one right there. Check it out. You can get a good view of that one if it happens to catch anything. And then another issue is parasites. If you catch a wild one, it is likely to have a parasite load that is going to be an issue for you. A captive bred one is much less likely to have issues like that. Also, a captive bred one is more likely to be on foods that are easy for you to obtain, and you won't have to try to train it to eat another, different kind of food. So there are several reasons why a captive bred one's going to be better. I'm not going to say a wild one's impossible, because certainly not. Oh, he just caught one, didn't he? Awesome. I love that. It's so cool. According to Bush, ever heard of seeing anyone breeding or keeping any kind of dragonflies? I'm curious if they have aquatic larval stages. Yeah, the larval stages are super cool. I think I may have kept one or two. I know I've kept damselflies and raised them up to the adult size. As a kid, I did that. And they're, of course, similar to dragonflies. I don't know that I can't remember if I've done dragonflies or not, honestly, for sure. But can be done. The larvae can be kept and fed. They're predators that will hunt things like tadpoles and small fish and aquatic insects. They're great to eat mosquito larvae and things like that. So it's possible. Let's see. Let's see. And cane toads are great for making green water for Daphne food. I can imagine. The waste they produce when they're in the water probably does a pretty good job with that. And Heather Jitson, my Spanish horn isopods finally had babies, and the dairy cows have had so many I'm going to need a larger container. Awesome! That's great. Yeah, those dairy cows are nuts. I love them. I moved mine to a big old container, and they're almost filling it up. I don't know if there is an isopod that reproduces faster. Some may be as fast, but there are none that go faster. Okay, I think, let's see. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to try it. Well, maybe. I'm going to try to catch us on some chats first. That was nice. We got to see that one eat. There's one right near the top of the screen right now, but it's kind of out of focus. Let's move it around and see what we see. There's a couple more. Those might have some luck. We'll see how they do. Wow, I only have like 5 minutes left. Okay, so scrolling back to find the answers here. Jay's crazy obsessions. Russ, have you noticed our local frog population decline is just me in places where I went as a kid and had tons, and now I go and I can't even find tadpoles? Yeah, that's happening in a lot of places, unfortunately. One of the species that's hit hardest around here is the boreal toad. They're really kind of disappearing, which is really sad. There's a place near me where I can find tons of bullfrogs, but they're invasive and they're not native to the state, and so they're crowding out, native frogs and stuff, so that's kind of sad. Pat's Fish Tank has another question. You're talking about bean beetles as a fish food. I cultured one kind in my fish. Most of the libraries showed zero interest in them. Researched it maybe because of their smell. I've noticed that fish, like small live bearers, didn't show a lot of interest. I noticed it was fish that were bigger, so larger tetras or barbs or things like that were better at swallowing them. Oh, middle one just caught one again. Tetras or barbs or things like that. Anything that's big enough and doesn't mind crunchy food will eat them and enjoy them, but live bears aren't particularly good at crunchy food, at least not at that scale. The beetles are big enough that they're probably too crunchy for most live bears. I'm not going to rule out all of them because there are some pretty big live bears out there, but it was interesting, this idea about the smell. I'm interested in finding more about that. And there are several different kinds of fruit flies, and the one I would recommend for fish, it depends on the size of the fish, but the two that I've used for fish really are the wingless or Apteris Drosophila melanogaster. They are really the smallest type, and they can't fly at all, which is helpful. There's a winged type that can't really fly, but they can sort of hop. Sometimes they're called Turkish gliders and things like that. I guess there's maybe a couple other names, but they can sort of jump fly about an inch at a time. They are, I would not recommend those for fish because they're much more likely to get out of the fish tank, the extra ones. And then if you have somewhat larger fish, you can do the Drosophila hydei, which have large wings but can't fly at all. And yeah, if you're going to get larger fish, those flies are about maybe 3 times the mass of these fish, or these flies. So yeah, those would be good for something bigger. Hopefully that helps. Jay's crazy obsession says, my adventure, that was my first snake. I'd tell you I try to find captive, but as long as you're getting it eating, I don't see a huge issue. And that is a big issue sometimes, yeah. Acro says I kept a mantis when it was an egg before I released it a couple months when it was a baby. Cool. Yeah. And I hope we see some more of these mantids out in the yard. We released them in our raspberry patch, so we'll see. H.C. Aqua says, oh yeah, the dragonfly and nymphs are eating the baby fish. Yeah, they'll eat anything they can catch, and they can catch quite a lot because they get pretty big. Random question, would store-bought in USA and Canada eggs hatch a more plump chicken than free-ranged eggs? I think that has more to do with genetics probably than anything else. So which type of chicken you're getting, because there are heavy-bodied chickens genetically, and there are lighter weight chickens genetically. Most of the chickens we have in our backyard are heavy-bodied because it makes it harder for them to fly over the fence. But just assuming that they're fertilized, of course. Okay, well, we missed Karen Sue leaving, but thank you for joining in. Thank you so much. And according to Bush, would you ever consider a tiger beetle? Yes, I love tiger beetles. I used to catch them as a kid. They're amazing creatures. They're so beautiful and so fearsome as predators. They're crazy. And Akro Ying, when you say potato bugs, do you mean like the Jerusalem cricket, the Niño de la Tierra? Those are pretty funky. I might do one of those sometime, if that's the one you're talking about. I know they're called that too. They have lots of different names. Jay's crazy obsession. I know that you probably won't know, but can you catch them for food, the bullfrogs? I have a small game permit and a fishing license. Not sure. Good question, though. I would imagine since they are invasive that people probably wouldn't mind, but it would be definitely important to check the regulations on that. I'm sure Fish and Game would know. And Heather Jensen, I did some inverting at work today. I spotted a butterfly stuck in one of my buildings and had to capture and release it. My coworker thought I was imagining it. I let it go and scared her. All right. Well, Karen Sue, bye, and thank you for joining. I guess the time is just about up. I'm glad everybody joined in. I'm glad you got to see a few of the little mantids hunting. I wish you had been able to see it a little bit better, but I'm going to try to get, someday, I'm going to get another camera in addition to my iPad that I can live stream from. Maybe that is better for that kind of thing, because I really miss doing macro photography that I could do better when I had cameras. Or maybe I'll just get better lenses for my camera. I don't know. So, yes. And Miley, yes, there are heavy-bodied chickens that are intended for dual purpose. They're intended as dual purpose chickens to be able to produce eggs and or meat. And we keep ours only for eggs. We don't eat them, but that is basically true. Yes, some of the heavier bodied ones lay eggs really well. Oh, you meant more kinds of bean beetle, Pat. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, got it. I don't know if there are other species that are kept in captive culture or not. That's a good question. And yeah, there are the flower beetles are the ones that really smell and taste bad. The bean beetles aren't as bad, but there are some, reptiles that don't like them as much. That's true. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your coming in. I appreciate your liking the live stream. Helps make it possible for more people to see it. And we'll see